Yo guys, I've got a spark which I'm going to use to ignite the fire for the conclusion of the Smolderdash Appreciation Trilogy here on the channel. It's turned from an unofficial Smolderdash Appreciation mode to an Appreciation Trilogy because this is the end of 3 videos celebrating Smolderdash's overall raw awesomeness, and they were all meant to come out in July, but unfortunately this final video has taken so long in editing it is only just coming out today on Sunday, October 1st. I was even meant to bring it out yesterday for Saturday because what I'm planning to do from now on is introduce a brand new premiere every single Saturday to the channel. So next week, if all things go according to plan, I'm going to have my Skarner award ceremony for this year premiere on Saturday, and then from that point forward I'm going to have a premiere every single Saturday like I just alluded to. But regardless, despite the fact that this video took so long in the editing, that is actually a benefit to some people because it meant that I could keep my Trap Shadow giveaway open for much longer. So now channels like that commenter up there had the opportunity to enter into this giveaway as well because I was able to prolong how long the giveaway was open for due to how long this editing took. And speaking of that giveaway, I'm going to be announcing the winner of this awesome Trap Shadow at the end of the premiere, so be sure to stay tuned. But enough of beating around the bush, we're going to roll the intro and then get straight into the Smolderdash SoloRun experience without further ado. Apparently, my Wi-Fi doesn't like Skarners as much as I do, because almost every single time we've tried to do Skarners, it's crashed in one form or another, and having said that, I've probably jinxed it. We're going to play on hard, because if I played a Nightmare mode, I would want to kill myself. If I fail any level, if Smolderdash is defeated, I get to restart the level, and if she dies twice in a row, then the solo run is over. But let's be honest here, this is Smolderdash we're talking about here. Death is not within her DNA. So that being said and done, let's play some support without further ado. Right, course, Smolderdash. Can you tell I'm excited for this? I'm excited for this. The PlayStation 4 is just absolutely terrible. I don't know what they were thinking with this port. It went wrong on so many conceivable levels. Like, seriously, really short loading times. In fact, this game doesn't even have loading times in the middle of a level. It's terrible for graphics. Like, look at all these different colours on screen right now. And the detail in Smolderdash's whip, like when you whip the ground, you actually see the whip marks. That's just...
Oh no, it's the
I've not seen much worse in my life, and that's saying a lot because I've seen a lot of worse in my life before. Smolderdash even has a mode where you buff her up. It's called her Eclipse form. When we upgrade her further, we'll get to see that. But if there was ever a character who didn't need to be buffed, it is this character you see before you. We ain't here for the narrative, we're here for the beast that is known as Smolderdash in her glorious glory. During those cutscenes, you can take a break, you can run around outside for a bit, you know, you can play for a full football game, you can watch a full football game, you can make dinner. You know, that rest, that break, it just reminds you of the necessity of the outside world. You can just really breathe it in, absorb life. No other game allows you the opportunity to do that with, you know, its short loading screens. Who wants those in a game? Like, if you have short loading screens, that means you've actually got to play the game, and who wants to actually play the game when you're playing the game? That is ridiculous. The Wii version of this game, it is superior in every conceivable fashion. Imagine playing a game. Pfft. I mean, reading a game is definitely far superior. That's why I love subtitles so much. I'd rather read the game over play the game. It's like when games used to include instruction manuals. The first thing you would do is you'd rip open that shrink wrapping and you would read the instruction manual on the way back home. I miss those days. Like, instruction manuals, they were the GOAT of video game packages. Playing the game in comparison to reading the instruction manual would always just be so lackluster by comparison. Girls have needs, you know, and the needs of this character, it is upgrades. I have a really funny story as to how I got Swap Force on PlayStation 4 actually. So initially on eBay, I bought it game disc only, and the game disc arrived, it was faulty, it didn't work. I was about ready to complain to the seller when I realised that it was a charity shop, and I'm like, I'm not going to complain to charity. I got a £10 version of Skarner Swap Force on PlayStation 4 from a charity. Yes. Let's not be that guy, okay? At least my money's going to a good cause. Heck, I probably would have donated to the charity anyway. So, didn't ever bother returning it. I went to game the very next day. They had a copy of pre-owned Scarlet SWAT Force on the PlayStation 4. It was 99 pence and it included the portal.
Oh my.
I got Scarlet SWAT Force on PlayStation 4 for 99 pence. So here we are with Sturfied and his incorrect opinions, mind you, about SWAT Force. We are absolutely gonna bully this man about that. Like, if you have false opinions about SWAT Force, you deserve to be bullied. I keep pressing the triangle button to initiate her Eclipse mode, forgetting that she hasn't yet unlocked her Eclipse mode. I miss her Eclipse mode. Shouting is pathetic and it's for losers. You never catch me doing it, even though it's about every other sentence that I do. The story scroll in Winterkeep also talks about Whirlwind, and it's really cool to see a Skarner directly referenced in a story scroll, if you were to ask me. My Oxford British accent is kicking in. Oh dear. Oh, all of you Oxfordians, you suppose that you're better than all of us, don't you? All of us not Oxforders, which is definitely a made-up word right now. I'm pretty sure, you know, the whole of UK all just kind of ties into one, because all we are is an island. You know, the most we have is different accents. Die! Yes, I brought them death. Well, that was some free experience. We take free experience.
Hundreds of different combinations.
That's a very convenient thing to know. Only I'm doing a solo run right here. And I'm fine with that. Anyway, by the time we complete this run, Smolderdash will definitely be fully upgraded, and hopefully she'll be fully leveled up as well. She won't quite be at the same level I had her at before I reset her though, given that she was completely maxed out in every conceivable category. I think people who got around said, "Oh, all the Skarner NFC chips are gonna die and we can't play Skarners ever again, it's the end of the world." Don't worry, those people are just, you know, think they're looking for drama and excitement, and most of all clicks. You know, you would click on a video that says your Skarners will die soon unless you do this 10-step phase of fixing, which includes mailing them to me for £100, and I'll mail them back to you with a, you know, uncorrupted chip. I'll clean it, I'll scrub it. Yeah, they won't do any of that. They'll just take the package and return it to sender. Not that anybody does that, you know, that's kind of exaggeration, but the case in point is that Skarner chips aren't going to be dying anytime soon. It would be very entertaining to watch a bloody murder on stream, but it wouldn't be ideal, you know, because I'd be dead. I'd rather not be dead. It's very hard to stream when I'm dead. And now let's continue attacking these training dummies, because they looked at me funny. Our childhood video game series is the same as the video game series you see before you. I grew up with these games, and I never really stopped playing these games. These games are an addiction of mine. I'm willing to bet Mario Kart Wii is some people's only video game. You know, Mario Kart Wii was a game which everybody owned, and they owned it twice. If you were ever at somebody else's house, chances are they own Mario Kart Wii and they forced you to play at some point. You know, your level of consciousness could be debated, but I guarantee that you certainly played it at some point or another, because it's Mario Kart Wii. A Smolderdash rare, I can't find one. Not particularly. Her light core version is a lot more common than her core version, because this version came out in Wave 1 of SWAT Force, and for the most part, Wave 1 characters tend to be more common, especially since they created more versions of that character. Like, there's more versions of Light Core Smolderdash in existence than what there are versions of the core. But then again, I say that, the core isn't that much more rarer, because it came later in the game. Not as many people were interested in it, which led to a lot of overstock of the character. In fact, so much overstock of the character made it so she became part of the Champions packs in Skylanders Imaginators. So in other words, the core got a re-release. This Light Core never got a re-release after Wave 1, or at least I don't think it did. If it did get a re-release in later waves, it would have been limited. Why are you shooting me while I'm itching my nose? That's awful rare, don't you think? Not even awful rare, it's awful rude. That's what I meant to say. The 3DS isn't even as powerful as the Wii, and the Wii couldn't handle SWAT Force and Trap Team, so I would love to see how the 3DS would handle these games. And now we have the Greeble Ironclad. You know what, this guy's gonna be no big deal. You watch, he's not even gonna hit me. Told you so. Couldn't even hit me. How incredibly lame. I almost feel sorry for that guy and how lame he is. Almost anyway, but as always, almost doesn't quite count now, does it? Her catchphrase, a blaze of glory. Well, that phrase means to do something in a spectacular fashion. That sums up Smolderdash perfectly. That's exactly what she's doing right now. She is an absolute spectacle, because she obliterates, and I mean obliterates, everything in sight. Yeah, nope, that's not hitting me. Told you so. Boom, and we got him out of here. Okay, let's get the Gobble Pod, the very conveniently placed Gobble Pod. That's it, come here, my pretties. You fools! Oh, you fool. That's what we have the Gobble Pod for. Name one more duo in games more iconic than the Smolderdash and Gobble Pod. Go on. I'll wait. That's the thing though, there isn't one. There is no more, there is not a single more dynamic duo, no more iconic duos than that of Smolderdash and Gobble Pod, as well as jumping off the ledge, because apparently I have no depth perception. Joel and Ellie. Oh, you're gonna really bring that crap in here. Joel and Ellie, you think Joel and Ellie are as iconic as Smolderdash and Gobble Pod? Get that crap out of here! Joel and Ellie? That's laughable, that is. Oh, you're gonna have to come up with better than that, man. Those two are pathetic with one another. Like, seriously, they spend half of the game bickering at one another, and then, in the next game, Joel dies in the first 2 hours. Spoilers. Tom and Jerry. No. Again, they spend half of their time trying to kill each other. So how can they possibly be a dynamic duo? No, a dynamic duo works with one another to absolutely obliterate everything in sight. That sounds much to me like the exact definition of Smolderdash and Gobble Pod. Gobble Pod, do a better job of killing! You're supposed to be my dynamic duo buddy over here. You know what? He is putting those guys in a stun loop, so I suppose Gobble Pod is indeed, you know, being good and almighty. I realised I did the whole fire zone, tried to get a hat to buff up Smolderdash, and then we didn't even get a hat. We got legendary treasure from it. No, that's a more dynamic duo. Nemo and his there you go, that's the most dynamic duo of all time. Nemo and his home. You should feel sorry for me right now, my brain is in crumbles. My favourite movie of the year so far is Across the Spider-Verse. For those of you who are trying to tease that out of me, for those of you who love Across the Spider-Verse as much as I do and was hoping that I would say that, you're welcome. I gone on ahead and said that because it's true. I love Across the Spider-Verse. Into the Spider-Verse was also my favourite film of 2018, my favourite film of the year it came out. So it's no shock and no surprise that Across the Spider-Verse is also my favourite film of the year so far. Advertising is pretty much everything in every business. Without advertising, a business cannot flourish, because how are you supposed to know of and buy something from a business that you have no knowledge on whatsoever? If you do not know a business exists, then you shall not be buying from it unless it's an accident. But you don't want people buying stuff from you on accident. You want stuff buying from you as you intended for such things. I'm trying to think of which path is a better path. So we can either create more powerful suns and held them enemies, or we can become infested with the power of sun, bringing down the full might of the fiery star. There is no comparison here. It is the fiery star. At least I hope that's the correct path. Given that she's my second favourite Skydive, I should be more adept knowing which paths are her superior ones. Oh, I must I? Apparently I have no choice in the matter. Then again, even when you do have choice, choice is simply an illusion. This is what we've learned from a Telltale Walking Dead playthrough. Our choices mean nothing. But who cares, because we make the choices anyway. Oh, Cars 2 is so much of a cinematic masterpiece that it earns the high praise of a 2 out of 10. The world, the universe, it needs a Cars 2. Chris Evans was perfect casting for Captain America, which is why I really cannot imagine Krasinski in the role. But Evans almost turned it down, especially after he played Human Torch in Fantastic Four. If I played Human Torch in Fantastic Four, I tell you what, I wouldn't be rushing the gates for another superhero role. Yet he took up the role of Captain America anyway, and now look at how big the actor is. Playing Captain America practically saved his career. We have two very different definitions of bridges. That is not a bridge, those are rafts that we jump across. It's very convenient that jumping is in this game, because if jumping wasn't in this game, then we'd be soft locked right now. Boom! Get wrecked. And get wrecked. Oh, I just love how easily you transition into that move. You can just be, you know, doing your regular whip, and then all of a sudden, boom, charged it up. And you're up and down again. You're up, down, shaking all about. You might even do the hokey pokey and turn around, because that's what it's all about. Superchargers Racing on the Wii is the best kart racer ever made. Said no one ever, including me. I'm not saying that. Do not quote me on that. But I still like the game. I like the game a lot, actually. I think it's very underrated as a SCADA's game. They were already dead, okay, Smolderdash. We don't need to keep overdoing it. I almost kind of feel like that was Snagglescale's voice actor just going off on the voice acting booth. They kind of just told him, yeah, just keep talking and don't stop talking and we'll use it all. And that's what happened. Here I am realizing that maybe I am actually Gilgrunt's mum. And Snagglescale is just, he's just a brother. Because I speak longer, much worse, and more importantly yet, even more gibberish than what Snagglescale does. Snagglescale's gibberish is constantly the talking. It is second only to yours truly. I am a very talented gamer, and I get myself stuff locked all the time, even in cutscenes. In fact, I die in cutscenes. It takes a special level of skill to pull that off, and yet I'm somehow capable of such accomplishments. Here I am, realizing that I'm collecting treasure so quickly that I don't even need to collect every single piece of treasure I come by. I'll have all of my upgrades by the end of the stream anyway. By the time Hidden World came out, let's just say I was a lot more critical of films. Didn't stop for Hidden World from being my favourite film of 2019 though. I love the Hidden World and it's really underrated. Okay, I'm just an emotional time bomb. Okay, I'm just ready to go off. I cry at the littlest things, okay? I cry in films when you're supposed to laugh. I cry when you're supposed to be joyous, okay? I cry at everything. I'm an emotional wreck. You take me to a movie theater and I will cry, like, when the couple get back together. For example, Pixar deserve to make money, so shut up, drop everything you're doing and go watch Elemental. Do yourselves a favour. The movie is good, it's just not that well written when compared to other Pixar films. On its own merits, it's very good. I mean, if you compare Elemental to most of DreamWorks' catalogue, it has beaten most of DreamWorks' catalogue. Emphasis on most. I still cry at Kung Fu Panda 2, and I'm a 21-year-old man. Kung Fu Panda 2 is definitely the most emotional of the trilogy. That's that chunk of the trilogy is where all of the emotional heart went. And also the most incredible villain writing, because Lord Shen is still my favourite DreamWorks villain to date. I can't believe that the best thing DreamWorks have made in years is a frickin' sequel to a mediocre spin-off film that came after mediocre Shrek sequels. Puss in Boots 2 is so much better than it has any rights to be. And up we pop, let's go baby, let's go. Now that was some power right there. I was expecting Puss in Boots to be mediocre at best. Boy, did that film surprise us all. Okay, it's time to rank up 60 billion times. I'm just going to place my controller down in a minute, just relax whilst we wait for this 1 hour long cutscene to play out.
2 hours later.
The quickest way to rank up is doing all of the swap zone challenges. The swap zone missions, if you complete them first try, you get 3 stars each time. So that's 3 stars about every 3 minutes or so. Either that or just summon in a ton of Skarners, because obviously summoning in Skarners also earns stars. This very rarely happens. 1 treasure away! How about I go get that treasure? Ah, that's more like it. Let's get the... I didn't even get the 1 treasure. I got the 2. That's really annoyed me. I could have just got the 1 treasure, could I? I had to get 2. Why do you do this to me, game? That is just so incredibly unsatisfying. In the best Walking Dead characters period, Kenny doesn't even crack top 10. Lee and Clementine both do. In fact, Lee and Clementine are top 5 characters for me. Clementine is my favourite Walking Dead character of all time, so that kind of puts her in top 5 by default. But, so Walking Dead characters in general, outside of those 3, Rick is obviously really high up there, Daryl is very high up there, Carol is very high up there. Specifically from the show, Carol in the comics kind of sucks. And speaking of comic book characters, Andrea from the comics is also pretty high up there, because Andrea in the comics is amazing. They botched her for the show, and it is so disappointing. I hate Andrea in the show so much. I wish she was so much more like her comic book counterpart. Now, the problem with Telltale and Michonne is how forgettable it is. I love Michonne, she's a great character, Pete's a fine character, but then every other character is terrible, for the choices mean nothing, and I could not name a single thing that even happens in Telltale's Michonne, because like I said, it's so forgettable. I love orange. Orange is the best citrus flavour, besides lemon, but that's lemon as a flavour, not lemon as a fruit. Like, having plain lemon is terrible, but lemon flavour is fantastic. Peels are designed to be peeled off. Why else do you think it is a peel? If there's a character that you like so much that you wish you saw more of them, that goes to show how good a character they are. You know, with characters you should always leave people wanting more. You know, give them a taste and then leave them wanting more. That's the golden rule of anything. Leave the audience wanting more. Here's one thing that really sucks about A New Frontier. So the best character arc in the game is Conrad. But Conrad also has the biggest amount of opportunities to get killed off. You can kill him off 3 different times throughout the story. And it really sucks because most players will wind up killing him off because one of the choices involves Clementine, and most people will side with Clementine instantly because she's a pre-established character. In fact, she's a beloved pre-established character, so why would you not side with her? Which leads to Conrad being killed off way too soon, and you miss out on the best damn character arc in the game. Why did they give the best damn character arc in the game to a character to where you can so easily miss out on that arc? Because he's killed off so frequently. It really stinks that most people miss out on Conrad's character arc, because again, it is the best character arc in the whole goddamn game. Yes! Death! Let there be death! Every single combat encounter we've been in thus far has left nothing. There are no scraps of war to be left because we are too busy annihilating everything. We are annihilating everything everywhere, and we're doing it all at once. And up we go. Boom, baby! Okay, now that is what I call some real wreckage right now. If Smolderdash went against a giant, I would feel sorry for the giant. That is such an unfair fight. Trap Team is just blind fun. Plus, the level design is also better. Trap Team levels have much more design work and creativity poured into them than what Swap Force levels have. Like, sure, Swap Force levels look beautiful. In fact, they look better than Trap Team levels, but I don't think they play as well. Trap Team PvP would have been interesting. I mean, not really. Whoever plays well up on the portal was going to win every single time. Certain characters were just so incredibly unbalanced, and it would have been really hard to balance them, because there were just so many characters to have to deal with. Let's kill them all, every last one of them. And up we go. Boom, baby! Now that's Annihilation if I ever have seen it. Star Strike is one of those who's only really overpowered if you know how to use her. You know, at the end of the day, if you're not good at the game, you won't be good at Star Strike. Not characters like Bumble Blast who are so easy that you don't even need to be good at the game to play them well. We, my friends, are making absolute mincemeat out of this enemy right now. I really do feel sorry for Gumshanks. Normally this is the moment where I tell you I almost feel sorry for him. Well, given that Gumshanks is the second greatest NPC of Skyland's history, I do actually feel sorry for him. This guy deserves better. This poor guy who's just been pushed around his whole entire life, he deserves better than this. Trust me when I say that, because it's true. Everything I say is true by default. That's how it works. Not quite there yet. This is what being a badass looks like. Triple star! We are so good that Glumshanks looked at us and couldn't even dare to hit us. We defeated him by looking at him funny.
I would have got 100 wins and more, but
yeah. Sure you would have. Sure thing, Snaggle Scale, yeah. Well, now that we're done with that totally believable and true story, let's continue with the game, I guess. They say you learn something new every day. Well, I have a motto, you learn something new every stream. Purely because when I stream, people enter the stream who are better and more knowledgeable at these games than I am, so I get to get shown up, I get to be embarrassed on my own streams, and it is hilarious to say the least. I always knew that Series 4 Cinder was in the game files, but obviously none of that matters given that she never got a release. An official release at that. She was a scrap prototype. We have of her the one single low resolution image, and man, it sucks that that image is low resolution. I would have loved to have seen a HD perspective of that character, of that prototype. Man, this Fire Geargon's taking its time to die. Never mind! Because, you know, this character is overpowered, as we've established already. I mean, I do agree, the Series 4 pose of Cinder is pretty cool. I would have loved to have seen what the WoW power would have been, but the problem with Series 4 Cinder is that it's another goddamn Cinder, and I'm not the biggest fan of Cinder. I came, I saw, I destroyed in the fewest amount of hits in a Skander I've seen. That was obliteratory in every single meaning of the word. Cinder's WoW power is settings. Oh my word, that is seriously overpowered. Settings? No way. Oh, that's ridiculous. It's a good thing they didn't release Series 4 Cinder in the end, because that would have been too ridiculously overpowered. There would have been no point playing any other Skander if you owned Series 4 Cinder with a WoW power as busted as that. Boom! Get wrecked. Oh, what did I tell you? I told you they were going down, and now they are as good as down. This is what them being down looks like. They are down for the count permanently. And he's been finished! Trader Johan was my favourite villain from Race to the Edge. Dude, spoiler! I forgot Trader Johan was a twist villain. Now I'm going to go back through the entire series and it's ruined for me now. I'm joking, of course. Trader Johan's twist villain moment was something that really took me off guard the first time, and I will never forget the first impact that had on me. So here we are with Legendary Treasures. It's going to make us glad that we picked up that Legendary Treasure in Cascade Glade in a couple of seconds. We have another pedestal over here. I definitely want to be taking advantage of this for the sake of the other Legendary Treasure that Tibbet granted us with. My intelligence is so legendary and awesome, and, you know, above all, Aloy tier, that I can come up with such intelligible phrases, ones in which other people could only ever dream of coming up with. Up we go, and we pop back down. Because once again, this is what an overpowered character looks like. If you ever want to look up the dictionary definition of an overpowered character, look no further than the Smolderdash you see before you. What is it with me and my pronunciation today? Apparently my mouth just can't make mouth noises. No, not a heaver of Greebles, anything but that. Oh, this is fate worse than death, I'm telling you. Yeah, let's strike him down and headed to the bright glowy thing, because everyone knows the first rule of bright glowy things is to head straight into him. I mean, does Chompy Mage really count as a Chompy? Sure, he adores Chompies. After all, if you're not a Chompy, he doesn't like you. But just because he summons Chompies, he uses Chompies, and he adores Chompies, does that make him also a Chompy? At the end of the day, I like babies. Babies are pretty cool. You know, new life in the world. Does that make me a baby? Ow. I'm gonna die. I'm gonna die talking about babies. This is tragic. Yeah, I do miss the transformation into Mega Chompy in Imaginators. Who am I kidding? Of course Chompy Mage is a Chompy. Chompy is within the name. But then that also beckons the question, does that make the Sheep Mage a sheep? Like, just because he is a mage of sheeps and he turns into a giant sheep, is that... Well, I suppose turning into a giant sheep part is what justifies calling him a sheep. Now I suppose that's quite sheep-like. It's more sheep-like than me, who is not sheep-like in the slightest. Okay, let's get out of there before, you know, I'd rather be the one blowing shit up rather than getting blown up. I am going to run away now. This is very dangerous. Why is there this many projectiles? How am I supposed to deal with this? Oh, like this. This is how. Okay, for a moment now, I forgot how broken this character is. Oh, that's why you never forget just how busted Smolderdash can be. Even in tight quarters combat like that, she makes me speak of all these folks here. I feel sorry for those guys. That guy's lucky that he was literally invincible, because even being invincible, he still barely stood a chance against Smolderdash. She is above invincibility, she is that good. Die, 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 die. Ow, that hit me. Of course it hit me. What are we talking about? This is Swap Force hitboxes we're talking about here. When in doubt in Swap Force, it hits you. Yeah, that's the golden rule of thumb. If it can hit you, boy, it will hit you. Enemy? Oh, no big deal. This is what we have stuns for. Bye-bye, enemy. Stun loop. Oh, I love a good stun loop. Okay, it would appear that despite it being a flipping cannon, Smolderdash is still superior, so we might as well just stick with her, for she is better. She is better than a frickin' cannon. Oh, I simp all the time. You just watched my Telltale Walking Dead playthrough. I simp the Clementine all the time. Apparently there ain't no shame in simping. Or if there is, then I am full of it. If simping is illegal, then go on ahead, lock me up. Oh, well, that's a good time to level up. Level up combined with a pizza, the most overpowered, well, second most overpowered duo in gaming history. Number one being, of course, Smolderdash and Gobblepod. I would personally love to experience an Indian wedding. I'm a man of culture, so to say. I love experiencing what other cultures in the world have to offer. That and also, I'm sure food at an Indian wedding would be awesome because, spoiler alert, the best food on the planet comes from India. If I ever go to an Indian restaurant, I will be the guy who asks, what's the hottest thing you have on the menu? Then they'll often tell me it'll be something like a vindaloo or a fowl. I'll have that. Whatever the hottest thing is on the menu, one of those. And the best part about ordering the hottest thing on the menu is that nobody else can steal any of your food because nobody else can handle it. Not that I've experienced many weddings in my life. The only one I really remember was my uncle's wedding, which happened back in 2010, so I suppose you can say I still barely remember it. Or was it 2009? Either way, Scarnders hadn't came out yet, so clearly that was a terrible year. Whoever said that movies couldn't teach you stuff, Across the Spider-Verse taught me that chai tea, well, chai is tea, you idiots! Can you stop trying to kill me, please? It's awful rude, old chaps. Whee! Oh, I love that attack. I love it so much. The most functional thing for Trap Team on the Wii is Chaos Doom Challenge. Like, how did that happen? How is Chaos Doom Challenge the most functional thing on the Wii? And even then, the frame rate drops horrendously on the Wii. It's too many enemies, I'm telling you. And when I played Trap Team on the Wii, I swear to gosh, the console was about ready to blow up. Ow. That was a mistake. Mistakes were made. When Nintendo developed the Wii, specs were released if they're concerned. They really wanted to try and tap that casual market. Because bearing in mind that in 2006, the Wii was really the first console to try and tap into a casual market. And boy, Nintendo were really on the money for it. The Wii had so much casual appeal that none of the other consoles did. You know, you didn't see your 85-year-old grandma going out to the store to buy an Xbox 360. No, they were buying the Wii and playing bowling on it. I don't know, I just know that Netflix and the Wii history have some sort of intertwinedness? Is that a word? I don't know, it is now because I said so. But in the end, obviously, Netflix just became another app for the Wii, same as it is on any other console, unless that console is the Switch. Why does the Switch still not have Netflix on it? Is it wrong of me to like Young Sheldon more than Big Bang Theory? Because that is what I've been watching on Netflix. For some reason I had the terrible idea to watch Big Bang Theory. I hated it, but I just can't leave series unfinished. Like, if the series has other seasons, I just have to watch the other seasons, otherwise my brain goes overload and I hate it. So I forced myself through Big Bang Theory, started watching Young Sheldon, and boy am I liking it much more. The 360 was before its time. It came out in 2005 and it had HD Wi-Fi capabilities. It had a capturing card, so it was almost as powerful as the PlayStation 3. In fact, in certain cases, because of how hard PlayStation 3 was to code for, in certain cases, the Xbox 360 port games were actually better. Take the Transformers games, for example. Transformers War of Cybertron and Fall of Cybertron are much more, they function better on the 360. The 360 is their dominant port. So despite coming out 2 years before the PlayStation 3, it was half the price, it was just as powerful, it played DVDs, it had some incredible games on it. The Xbox 360 was just an absolute monster of a console, which its only flaw really was the Red Ring of Death. Say what you want about the Wii U, the Wii U had some great games. The Wii U is a great console. The problem is that Nintendo didn't know how to market it. If you're gonna make your game console exclusive, you make it PlayStation 4 console exclusive, given that the PlayStation 4 outsold the Xbox One and the Wii U combined. I mean, the summer of 2008 had Iron Man and The Dark Knight. In 2008, to get two superhero movies of the same summer, it was, you know, a rather absurd concept. It was something totally unseen. Like before 2008 and before we got 60 Marvel films each year, we really only got Batman movies, we got for Superman movies, we got the Spider-Man Sam Raimi trilogy, of course, but outside of that, we very rarely saw them pop up, and ones which did pop up tended to not do very well. Daredevil didn't do very well. I can't remember what year it came out, but it didn't do well. Oh no. Oh, trolls. Oh, whatever will I do? I'm so screwed. And I'm so fearful of the might that the trolls bring. Smolderdash really doesn't stand a chance. Trolls are just too powerful. I'm so scared. Supercharger's Nightmare mode is a joke. Oh, watch your swears. But yeah, Supercharger's Nightmare mode isn't the most difficult. The vehicle sections are tough, but for actual on-land combat sections, I very rarely struggle with those. Not to say that I never struggle with those. That'd be a lie altogether. I do struggle with those from time to time. But they aren't nearly as hard as literally every other Nightmare mode in the game. Superchargers is a bit too generous with how light the enemies hit on Nightmare mode. No, not the boom boss. Anything but the boom boss. Oh, I was being sarcastic about the trolls before, but now I'm truly doomed. I stand no chance against the might of boom boss over here. He's just too powerful. Oh, level up. Yeah, it's a good thing too. If I didn't level up right there, that boom boss was gonna have me. He was gonna do me in. I was screwed. One face to face with that legendary boom boss overpoweredness. Smolderdash was so powerful right there that the game itself couldn't even handle it. The game had to drop frames due to pure exposure to raw awesomeness. Once upon a time, I tried to play through this game with only my variants on Nightmare difficulty. The problem is that the only variants I had was Dark Spyro, Punch Pop Fizz, and Nitro Megacharge. So playing through the entire game with just those three characters was something easier said than done. Anyone who puts raisins and cookies is messed in the head. Like, how can you think that raisins and cookies are a good thing? They are disgusting. Raisins by themselves are disgusting, so why would you tarnish, why would you taint something perfect with something so disgusting?
Beware the flare.
At least pineapple on pizza, you know, pineapple tastes good by itself, raisins do not. And something that doesn't taste good by itself shouldn't be added to anything. We've learned that even stuff that does taste good by itself doesn't taste good when it's added to stuff. The key principle there being pineapple. Don't add pineapple to anything. Just leave pineapple on its lonesome. You know, pineapple should be alone forever and eternity because it just tastes so good that way. I love the fact that now the commentary is boiled down to, you have to be seriously messed up if you like raisins on cookies. Your taste buds are wrong. Not the fireballs. Anything but the fireballs. Now you'd think being a fire skarner I'd be kind of, you know, immune to fire, given that fire is literally my life force. Apparently, you'd be thinking wrong. Shock free since 63. I mean, not really, this game didn't come out in 63, but it rhymes. No treasure left behind. If I took the best scanner of every single element in Giants, I could very easily do a Nightmare lock, with only 8 characters. Obviously, those characters being Series 2 Igniter. For Magic, it'll be Series 2 Double Trouble, then Earth would be Series 2 Prison Break, or Flashwing. Both of those characters are really overpowered. Nah, Series 2 Prison Break though. Then Water, Series 2 Slam Bam. He's pretty busted. Or Series 2 Zap is also quite busted. Or Series 2 Gilgrunt. You know, pretty much any of the cores of Water Element and Giants are pretty busted. Undead, ooh, probably Series 2 Hex, or Series 2 Chop Chop, either of them are pretty beastly. We all call out Jetpack for having a pretty boring moveset, but his moveset certainly is effective in combat. Jetpack has made it quite far through my locks every single time he's been part of a cast, so clearly that's something to say about Jetpack's efficiency in combat. Like, at the end of the day, Jetpack does not die. The game will do whatever it can to keep Jetpack alive. The game just really loves Jetpack for some reason. But then again, Sonic Boom and Lightning Rod would also work quite well for Giant's Nightmare mode. And Whirlwind down for Cloud Path is also really good. Down her Rainbow Path with the Shooting Horn, she's not nearly as good. But if you go for the Clouds instead, she's pretty darn good. In fact, down the Cloud Path, Elite Whirlwind is the most overpowered character in Trap Team, hands down. And finally, for the life element, well, I suppose you go with the Forgotten Camo, but Series 2 Sun Splash is also really overpowered. The problem with Golden Queen's boss fight is that there is maybe a square pixel at any given time on the entire screen that you can stand in, which won't deal damage to you. The amount of attacks that you're just flurried by is absurd. You can't dodge anything because literally everything is thrown your way. Everything. Every single asset that the game has is thrown at you all at once for the Golden Queen boss fight. Oh, Flynn! You disturbed the peace. That was just absolute silence that could be heard right there. Because yes, you totally hear silence. That's how it works. That text section at the very end of Chaos's Fortress, or whatever it's called. That is a tough section, but boy, it's so much fun. You're so invested in the game, so incredibly invested, because that section really demands your concentration. It is challenging, even on the easy difficulties. Then again, it is kind of like the final regular combat test of the game, because from that point forward, there's only boss fights. Then again, in Chaosandra, you do also have a lot of combat in there, a lot of traditional combat, because Chaosandra's boss fight basically boils down to the awesome gimmick. Like, they had an awesome gimmick with her hiding in the portal, but everything else in her boss fight, the only ideas they had was her throwing enemies at you. So yeah, that entire boss fight is effectively just fighting regular enemies that we fought throughout the entire game already. Hey, if it ain't broke, don't fix it. Fighting those enemies in the game, it worked before, so it worked there also. He just kind of seems like an excited puppy dog, just happy to be here. Okay, let's kill it! Kill it some more! I commit murder! Oh yes, that's what we're talking about. Okay, time for this Fire Viper to go down. Told you so. Oh yeah, way to go. But here's the thing, why does the Fire Viper even need Evilizer Crystals? I'm pretty sure these guys were evil to begin with. I hate how the Fire Vipers talk in Academy. Let's just rant about that for a second. The annoying speaking characters in Academy. What were they thinking? Allowing Hydras and Fire Vipers to talk. They don't talk! Now, I think for love of Volcano Rocks and just come here and destroy all of Woodrow. Academy has its problems, but Academy is still an excellent show. It's an excellent standalone show, and as a Skanda's adaptation, it works quite well also. Especially since a lot of the jokes actually land. It is classified as an animated comedy, more so than animated action, even though it does have some really good action set pieces, especially all of the fights against Malifaux. Now Last of Us has really came out to show us what not a good video game adaptation can look like, but a great video game adaptation. Everyone knows that length equals epicness. The longer your movie, the better. You know, give me a 4-hour long movie. You know, that would be perfection, that would be Oscar-worthy type material. Beau is Afraid is good because it's long. You could say the argument is bullshit, but as is the same argument that it's bad because it's long. The length of a film doesn't matter so long as the length of the film is right for the film. If a film needs to be long, then by all means, make it long. If it needs to be short, make it short. Yeah, give me all this sweet, glorious treasure. And up we go again. Once again, a very nicely timed level up, indeed. I have played Legend of Spyro New Beginning, but I played the DS version, and I never beat it because I was a dumb stupid kid who didn't understand how the game worked. I know for a fact that Spyro also changes elements in that game, which is why a lot of people were disappointed that Spyro only had one element in Skanda's. You know, he shoots out fireballs, and yet here he is as a Magic Skarner. It would make a lot more sense for a Magic Skarner to harness different elemental abilities. So Spyro, having all of his different elements from Legend of Spyro would have been really cool for the character. You know, I imagine that if they brought back Spyro as a supercharger, then it would be gimmicks like that they would go along the lines of. You know, was Pop Fizz really that good? Yes, Pop Fizz was really that good. Though they did box him with his Big Bubble version. His Big Bubble version is inferior in every conceivable manner. He's not as fun, he's not as fast paced, and worst of all, he's not as broken. Don't you shoot me, okay? I don't want to die to a freaking turret section of all things. That would be embarrassing and I'd hate it. I'd hate it so much. Bring it. Oh, you fool! He actually bought it! Oh, that was stupid. What did you do that for?
You got burned.
Exactly. He gone and got himself burned. It would appear as though Vicarious Visions really cared about platforming in their games much more than what Toys for Bob did. Like the Toys for Bob games, even for ones with jumping, don't really seem to take as much advantage of the jump mechanic as these games do. Oh yes, that's it. Walk into the line, the path of obliteration. Walk into it more. What do you mean I missed the spell punk? Luckily those guys are damaging each other in the process. We love to see it. We love to see it. Why is he still overpowered? I took out the spell punk, didn't I? This game is cheating. It's a dirty rotten cheater. Woo! 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 Let's just say that recording the video is the easiest part. You know, writing, research, that takes up time. Actually making it, you just kind of set aside a day, record the whole damn thing, and then you spend the next several days editing the thing, which is why editing is the longest process. At least for someone like me who really enjoys the editing and really takes their time going through it thoroughly and ensuring that it is where you want it to be. Not necessarily where it needs to be, but where you're happy with it. Okay, let's be careful of everything that's fallen before we grab the chest. There we go. I'm still not dead yet by some miracle. So that is probably about to change. Oh dear. This is terrifying. I am terrified. I love the fact that Smolderdash is so overpowered that it took 3 fallen ice crystals from the sky to reduce her to that state. It wasn't even enemies. Enemies are pathetic. It would appear that her one and only slight tangible weakness is fallen ice crystals. Let's have a platform with my key on it. No, it is not. This is much shame. Okay, let's kill some things! Even if they're just inanimate objects. Still, we'll kill them, all the same. I mean, we weren't really robbed of something if it never existed in the first place. Saying that Chop Chop was robbed for a supercharger is the same argument in my personal opinion. You know, we never got a supercharger Chop Chop. And even then, people are saying they would have liked a supercharged Chop Chop because Chop Chop was so great. Well, it would have been an entirely different character, so for Chop Chop fans, if we got a supercharged Chop Chop that was garbage, you would be moaning a lot more about that than you would Rollerball getting the slot instead. Just take a moment and think about that, why won't you? You know, Chop Chop gets to remain perfect rather than being tarnished by a terrible supercharger form. Pop Fizz doesn't have that honour. Pop Fizz was perfect. Then they tarnished him with a supercharger's form. You don't want that for Chop Chop 2. At least Ghost Roaster did get the really awesome repos with the Elite form. That was a welcome addition, but it is a shame he never got Series 2. Oh, I love Avril as an NPC. One look is all it takes. Oh, the snark on her right there. Oh, it's a shame we're not Tech Element then. Even though that's kind of strange, I reckon Smolderdash could pass as a Tech Skarner. There we go, we killed the crate because it looked at me funny, no other reason. Yes, her design is epic. Her name is epic. Her gameplay, even more so. In fact, I have 10 reasons as to why this character is awesome, and that video will be coming out fairly soon. I'm just waiting to actually finish these live streams because these live streams have gameplay footage that I'm going to use to make that video with. Last zone is definitely for weaker or for 4. Not in terms of actual raw power. Of raw power, he's actually the second best. But in terms of just everything overall, I think personality and design, he's just the most lackluster. When the Swap Force was first announced, I really thought that Magna Charge was going to be in the starter pack. But then obviously we got Blast Zone instead. But I do think Magna Charge would have been really fitting for the starter pack. Then again, I suppose having both Washbuckler and Blast Zone meant that you had a fire and water swapper combination. So you could combine elements into their literal opposites. Blast Buckler, a fire-water combination. There's something appealing about a fire-water combination. I mean, I like how Fakor's pose looks. I love how the fire whip wraps around her base. But I think the Light Core, because it lights up, is that much cooler. And she T-poses. You can't go wrong with a T-pose and Skarner. A T-pose and Skarner is perfection by default. Especially when that Skanda is Smolderdash, which layers perfection upon more perfection. Why can't you just do what I say? I don't care about what you want, I only care about what I want. I'll do what I want. There you go, he did what I wanted. Now I'm satisfied. I'm only satisfied when everybody bows to my will and my demands. Otherwise I'm cold and miserable. Magna Ranger is a really good combination. In fact, when I only had limited combinations available to me, that was one of my favourite combinations. I also love how the darkness really sets the mood and the atmosphere of the rest of the level. No, it truly makes the situation feel hopeless right now, which is exactly what losing the Illuminator means for Frost Elves. If there's ever anyone who's been perfect to reignite a furnace, it would be Smolderdash, a fire Skanda no less. Ow, that is not okay. I kill you for that. I kill you all! Yes, your brethren must die! I mean, given that Boom Jet is my favourite swapper, pretty much any combination with either Boom or Jet is a solid win in my book. I would love to know who threw that. There's nobody around who could have thrown it. Which is why I'd love to know who could have possibly thrown it. Yes, glowing stuff or bright stuff, lighting, for lack of a better way of putting it, is a great way to guide the player without using waypoints and arrows and stuff. Why do you think Uncharted, like, scripted sequence works so well? Because you're guided by light, or in some cases, you'll have literal infrastructure directing you. Like in for Horizon games, in the first one, you have white paint wherever you need to climb. Again, go back to Uncharted, windows and door frames and stuff form to make arrows that direct your way subtly, so without having literal arrows point your way, you are guided by more natural means. You know, it's what maintains the flow and the fast-paced nature of the Uncharted games. Really spice things up. I got 2 for price 1 right there! Oh, that's something that's never happened before. I didn't even know you could get 2 for price of 1. Let's go, baby! Let's go! Okay, let's try not to die to the snowballs here. That'd be a really, truly tragic way to lose Smolderdash and have to restart the level. To be fair, I could imagine any Skylanders game being anyone's #1. Like, any of these games are good enough to be the #1 slot. There aren't any that are inherently broken. Trap Team has glitches, but the game is still playable. You know, so each game is purely down to personal preference. Objectively speaking, Superchargers is the best game. Of all of the games, Superchargers definitely has the best polish, as well as the best graphics, the best music, the best story. But everything else that makes the Skylanders game great is all purely subjective, which is why I can see a different Skylanders game being everyone's different favourite. Like, at the end of the day, 12 viewers right now, I guarantee that between all 12 viewers, at least one of each of the 6 Skylanders games comes up as their favourite at least once. And now we're gonna grab some treasure and kick off this conclusive chapter with none other than Smolderdash Soul Gem, because it's kind of hard to garner the Soul Gem ability without having found the Soul Gem beforehand. Oh, and let's also activate this legendary pedestal, because why the heck not? Because I have this expensive souvenir which gives me a critical hit multiplier, as if Smolderdash needed a buff. You know, I feel as though Smolderdash is the last character who needed to get buffed, and yet here we are buffing her up anyway. There's a snowy version of Smolderdash, which they literally called Snowderdash. They were so proud of that pun that they even printed it on the packaging of the figurine, something they don't regularly do for chase variants. So you guys, you're going down, man. You're going so down, I'm gonna feel sorry for you. Almost, anyway. And up we pop. Boom! Get him out of here, man. Yeah, there you go, that's what we're talking about. She is so quick, it's so much fun. Sprocket is actually decent, yeah, said no one ever. Least true words were never said, my friend. Oh no, not magic hands, anything but from magic hands. Bumblebee is the single most overrated Autobot in Autobot history. I like the character, but when you compare him to almost literally every other Autobot, it's kind of pale by comparison. Even in Transformers Prime, he's my least favourite Autobot character. Though I do like how they managed to build up his personality without a voice, but that is a Bayformers thing, exclusively a Bayformers thing. And that kind of trend is now carried on because it's the incarnation of Bumblebee that everyone seems most familiar with. My opinions are correct, and anyone who disagrees with my opinions, well, they're just wrong. That's how opinions work at the end of the day. Yep, no big deal, just gonna dash through all of this. Yes! That, my friends, is why Smolderdash is as overpowered as she is. I think we've taken one hit without being touted this level so far, because she is just that beastly. And look at how quick she is. That soldier has added so much depth to her gameplay, because she can just dash in and dash out. She's dashing through the snow. Oh, that was neat. Okay, let's take him out. Boom, boom, and we're shake for room! Just this really absurd, crappy series with space wizards that fly and wield laser swords. Or they don't actually fly, and the Force like live in essence, and yada yada yada. Insert Star Wars nerdy stuff here. The best Star Wars media we ever got, and ever will proceed to get, is the Clone Wars. The Clone Wars is by far the best thing Star Wars has ever done, and will ever do in the future. Nothing can hold a candle to the might of Clone Wars. They wish they could, but they ultimately fail trying to do so. Even with my lack of gameplay finesse, Smolderdash is still overpowered. Goes to show just how good this character truly is, if even I am this overpowered with her. Okay, let's see if we can get triple stars here. I'm gonna aim to not take any damage, though not taking any damage is clearly easier said than done. I mean, of course you love Smolderdash. How could you not love Smolderdash? Loving Smolderdash is the correct opinion, because it's the same as my opinion, and everyone knows that if you have the same opinion as mine, it's correct by default. That's how opinions work. As far as I'm concerned, an entire year is basically just January and 2 other days, because January is so long and slow-paced that it basically feels like an entire year, and then the rest of the year goes by so quickly, you're just kind of left to wait for January again. Oh, I miss not being able to attack in midair.
You're in for a special treat.
I pressed the attack button in midair, assuming that she'd do her whip attack, which is obviously something she does in Trap Team, but in Swap Force, the only character who can attack in midair is Starstrike. Alright, this part is pretty easy. All we gotta do is avoid the blades, and given that they spin around the stage from left to right, all we gotta do is go from right to left. Okay, watch out for all the blades, because again, I really want triple stars here. That would be really extra decorative. Because if there's one thing I haven't done yet, is prove how truly overpowered Smolderdash is. We have merely tapped into a small percentile of her power thus far. These freaking spinning dancers are probably the biggest thing around here. And then we got 2 of those at once to worry about. But you know what? She's dead! So in the end it doesn't even matter. Triple stars! Tree Men, let's bring fire to the Tree Men. I'm sure that can't possibly result in anything tragic whatsoever. Nothing could possibly go wrong. Ayo, let's go commit murder. You know, Chaos wouldn't keep coming back game after game after game if we just murdered the fella already. Get him out of here. You know, we only got to do it once and then it's over and done with. It's like homework. Once you get it done, then it's finished and you don't need to worry about it ever again. Let's do the same with Chaos, and in Chaos's case, the homework is murder. Let's go commit murder, everyone. Yeah, that's the joy of my commentary, for 90% of it, which is just utter garbage. But at least then, you know, 10% of it could be something to salvage. Actually, no, that's exactly what I want, a troll toll bridge, because that's a fun combination of words to say with the iteration and all that. Now die! Kill them all on the troll toll bridge. Smash It is the last character I need. I have like 16 different versions of Smash It, 2 of which are his terrible steel-plated version. I hate the steel-plated version, I hate it so much. Of all of the shades of green, they chose the ugliest possible one. And up we go again! See ya! Wouldn't want to be here. Now let's get that fire dealt with, because despite Smolderdash literally being a fire being, she still takes damage to the very same thing which gives her life force to begin with. That being fire. That makes total sense to me. Woo! Yeah, there we go again. Suckers! Okay, where's everybody else? Apparently we were far too intimidating and nobody else decided to spawn. Total lack of realism. That is not how fire works. This game is a 0 out of 10 for its complete lack of physics. In fact, you know, it took physics, and it was basically the first thing they threw out of window when developing this franchise, and it's terrible. I demand realism in my video games, especially ones where they're set in an endless sea of functionalism in the sky. That premise just demands realism. If there was ever anything in fiction that was ironic, it would be that story scroll, because it talks about tree men becoming volunteer firefighters. Pretty ironic that, given how easily trees get set on fire. In fact, there aren't really many superchargers that are high in value, with the exceptions being Double Dare, Trigger Happy. In fact, the entirety of the Land Racing pack is quite high in value, period. Oh yeah, that's one way to flex. Hey guys, look at me with the rare Skarner. Or one of the rare Skarners. But here's the best part. I don't even got one breeze, no. I've not got one breeze, because I have two instead. I mean, Breeze is pretty cute. I will go as far to say that much. And I got lucky with Breeze. I got an Air Minis double pack. So from Trap Team, I paid £20 for a Pet Vac and Breeze double pack. And I got it imported from Germany, because even though I paid a lot of money for shipping, it still turned out cheaper. I also have an American Series 2 Drobot, because Series 2 Drobot was so absurdly rare in Europe that his value, it skyrocketed. And it's only continuing to go up, which is why getting it imported from America turned out much cheaper. I really need to stop getting missiled, because this is how I die, and that would be tragic. Too hot for landing. You have a literal being made of fire on the ship alongside you. How could the landing be any hotter than what was already on the ship? Does this basket have what I'm looking for? It does indeed! Ah, oh, that's a healthy, nutritious taco right there. That taco was precisely what I needed. Baskets usually have food, but not all baskets have food. As you can see right there, I destroyed 3 baskets and not a scrap of food was to be found. Rather tragic, actually. I could be doing with some food. Stop shooting me! It's rude! And up we go. Boom, baby! And up we go again. Take them out. Now that's what we're talking about! Oh man, that was some obliteration if I ever have seen it. You ever look up the dictionary definition of obliteration? That there snippet of gameplay is what you'll see. I'm a saint and I'm perfect. Anyone who says so otherwise is just ridiculous, and they can't get over their own flaws, so they take it out on me. They are pathetic people with pathetic problems that are below me. Oh, I would love to play as Cheese, but unfortunately Cheese isn't an actual Skarner, so Smolderdash is instead the next closest thing. Oh, I love me some cheese. Some grand, glorious cheese. They don't get much better than Cheese, actually. Cheese is just that good. Cheese is Aloy tier. The elite Aloy tier. I was trying to think of a better word than elite, but, you know, sometimes words just don't come to mind. When you're as perfect as me, sometimes words just slip your mind. You know, especially when I'm trying to be illiterate and I'm trying to use words with like 14 syllables and 45 different letters within them. You know, those are the words that I tend to struggle with. Surprising that. Cheese, glorious cheese. In fact, dairy, period, is just an absolutely ridiculous concept. Milk, dairy, how could it possibly be dairy when dairy does not exist to begin with? Does milk even exist to begin with? No, it doesn't. Milk is an illusion. A cheese custom for any Skarner would be legendary. I would love to see that. I would say I'd pay to see that, but the problem is that I have 2 pence to my name at the moment. I'm not sure 2 pence really covers the costs. 90% of the stuff I say is utter nonsense. If you're going to go through the trouble of coming all the way overseas just to claim that 2 pence penny from me, be my guest. It will cost you a lot more than 2 pence. So you're going to lose money on that kind of job. Here in the UK we do make some fantastic cheese. Us Brits are known for our cheese. More specifically, our love for it. We consume, I'm not sure what the exact statistics is, but it is a lot of cheese on an annual basis. This guy, he's so rude. Who does he think he is? Like, honestly. But at least now he's dead. That's a win. No, I don't have Discord. I have Disclorb, the superior version of Discord. Why would you even use that garbage when Disclorb exists instead with its over 7 billion downloads worldwide? I'm the goated goat. I'm the greatest of all time, greatest of all time.
What that means to you is, don't get caught in the
And
spotlight.
what's special about that is
They'll
that it's
see you.
goatception, and everyone knows that by adding section to the end of something, it makes that
Avoid
thing
the
infinitely
lights.
better. That is instant comedy, just add word section to the end of anything. Hashtag be better. Which is what I need to do right now, or I'm going to die. I need to be better at a video game. Where's the be good at a video game button when I need it? Was that a mistake? No, it wasn't. Ha! Joke's on you, I make no mistakes. There we go, he's dead. I mean, first, I don't think there's really an ounce of jealousy to be found. I couldn't care less if other YouTube channels are more successful and more viewed and, you know, just have bigger numbers than me. To me, they're just numbers. Big numbers are good, because it doesn't matter what Skarner channel they're coming from. It means that Skarner's videos are getting attention on YouTube, and that is amazing. That is an incredible thing. There's no room in life for jealousy, especially when life is short. And now I'm taking damage. That's what I get for being wholesome. I get goop to the face. Frick it. Wholesome people are stupid. And up we go. How are you still not dead? Oh, never mind. He's dead. I love the fact that our meme name for Discord seems to change with every single comment. It's like, this Claw, this Claw, this Clap, this Clobe, this Claude. I think we've had, like, Discord spelled incorrectly as many times as it possibly could be spelled incorrectly. Yeah, Discord is now a censored word. Disclorb is all that exists. Smolderdash has in fact been fully upgraded. She's fully upgraded with level 17 and 9,000 treasure to boot. After all that, we got buffs from legendary pedestals, but we didn't get any hats in the end, so Smolderdash ain't got no stat buffs, but really, Smolderdash, yeah, if there's ever a character who needed a buff, it'd be Smolderdash. A bit like Drobot, really. Drobot is useless without buffs. Sure, it's a good thing that buffs would exist, because Drobot would be terrible otherwise. Drobot is exactly the kind of character who needs buffs. Lots of them, lots of buffs. Drobot, he needs all the buffs because he's so terrible otherwise. This is mad though, I did a solo run of an entire game, and it looks like after all that, Smolderdash still isn't going to become level 20. Where's the Chaos Doom challenge when you need it? We're being sarcastic of the fact that we're saying the overpowered characters need buffs, when they very clearly, obviously don't. Characters who are terrible and really need buffs are Drill Sergeant Fiesta. They're weak and really need buffs to become less weak. Whereas Drobot is so strong that the last thing he needs is buffs. And yet we say he needs buffs anyway, because that's the joke. That's the irony of the situation. Die, 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 die. Yeah, let's go! No, not the magic spell pumps, anything but the magic spell pumps. And up we go. Where did the other magic spell pump go? Did we kill it? I'm so overpowered, I'm losing track of when we kill things. Damn, we took damage. I was really trying to do that without damage. If I did that without damage, that would have been really impressive. There you go! Woo woo! Now that's what some power looks like! Oh, I feel sorry for those guys right now. Oh, they deserve so much better. Before Skarner's Academy, this was simply known as Chaos's mum. It wasn't until Skarner's Academy that she got the official name Chaosandra. After 6 hours of gameplay, I'm still not bored of this. This character's just too damn good, what can I say? Young man, there's no need to feel down. I said, young man. This is why I don't sing professionally, or just sing period. My day couldn't really be getting any more perfect, given that I'm playing a Smolderdash right now, which is absolutely the epitome of perfection, without a doubt. I do think a Nightmare SoloRun is certainly doable with Bumble Blast, because Bumble Blast is such a beast. So on my second run of the game, I got very close to losing the lock. In the end, the only Skarners who made it to Chaos was Mini Ginny and Barkley. Mini Ginny got through about half of the fight, and then Barkley finished it. It was the most insane Chaos-like fight of my life in Trap Team, and that stream was so much fun because of it. It really holds a massive legacy and a close place to my heart. But we can't really handle these games. They're a little too sophisticated and overpowered for it, even though it's the same system to where Super Mario Galaxy 2 exists. If Nintendo could make a game as optimized as Galaxy 2 on the Wii, then I don't think Trap Team has an excuse.
There's no time to lose.
I've played a bunch of Sonic games. I've played Sonic Colors, Sonic Generations, Sonic Unleashed, Sonic Mania. Oh, and I've also unfortunately played Sonic 06. I didn't enjoy that one as much as the others. Surprising that, isn't it, given that Sonic 06 is notoriously one of the worst games ever made. And hey, at least Sonic 06 has amazing music. That is the one thing that game has going for it. No! Less iron! Less iron! I repeat, less iron! No need for iron! Get this iron out of here! Ow! This is not okay. Die, Crystal. Die, die, die. Okay, I could really do with some food, because the last thing I want to do is die on the final level. Having a trap master with every element is awesome, because you can access 100% of what the game has to offer. Well, except for all of the villain quests where you need a trap of every element. That's the thing, the game makes you have to buy a trap of every element. Why is that not enough? In my opinion, a trap of every element is enough. You shouldn't have to buy a trap master with every element as well. Why did it have to be the explosive chickens? Why? Oh, why? Freaking exploding chickens, I hate them so much. Okay, I'm not very good at jumping this thing, and it also terrifies me, so I'd rather not take the risk by jumping over it. Never mind, I guess I'm jumping over it. Okay, let's get him!
No! You can't do this.
We're finishing this thing with 173 health. Let's go. To be fair, I still jumped it twice. The only time I ran away from it was once. So I had 2 for free. I'm okay with that. I'm content with that. But that being said, just over 90 minutes in, we've already concluded the Smolderdash SoloRun, where we died a total of 0 times, because even being a terrible player as I am, Smolderdash is too overpowered for this game. If you come at me with a knife, I will die, because I am mortal, not immortal. Do not count me as immortal and come charging at me with knives, okay? That's not cool. I will die. I bleed like every other human. Trust me, I know that I bleed. I managed to crack my head open multiple times. I'm not sure if it's showing up on the camera, but I have a scar right up here as proof that I bleed, because I've cracked my head open multiple times on this side of my face. So, cracked my head open and there's a scar there as for proof. It's incredibly faded now because it was years ago, but trust me, it happened. I bleed, I am mortal, I can die. Okay, so that's the perfect note to end off the Smolderdash SoloRun portion of this video. So without further ado, at the end of this premiere, it's time for us to pick a winner from amongst the Trap Shadow giveaway entries. As you can tell, all of the names that entered into the giveaway contest have been put into this random wheel of names. So without further ado, I'm going to click and find out who our winner shall be. So it's time for that wheel to spin. It's very mesmerizing. But our winner is none other than, it's going to be Jakku Brusik 443. I apologise in advance if I absolutely butchered that channel name, but congratulations. Be sure to get in contact with me on one of my social medias, which is currently being presented on screen. You have 5 days to claim this prize, otherwise I will be determining a runner-up winner. But that being said, congratulations once again to Jakku. And this is where I'll finally be bringing this Smolderdash Appreciation Trilogy to a close. So without further ado, let's roll that outro. I cannot, in good conscience, end off this video without first thanking all of my incredible channel members whose continued support help make these videos possible. Without them, these videos would be near impossible to make, so from the bottom of my heart, I truly appreciate every last one of them. If you enjoyed this video and would like to see more, there are plenty of options on screen now to explore, and please consider subscribing to keep up to date with all my content. On that note, this video is coming to an end, so thank you so much as always for watching. Until the next video arises, peace!